Happy New Year everyone, it's Rachel, and I know I've not been around for quite some time, but honestly I haven't got that much stitching done this year, but it's New Year, new goals, so I'm here to show the 3 pieces that I did finish, and then I'm going to do a bit of a WIP parade and go through my plans. Okay, so, only 3 pieces then. This was the first one that I finished, which is Christmas Morning Pets by Dimensions. Quite a small piece. I like it. Still not framed, but you know, framing's an expense, so one day I'll have everything framed. So that was the first one. Although it was the last one that I finished. So these are in reverse order really. In fact, no, they're not, because this was the first of the year. So this is a digital download that I got from mybobbin.com, and this is called Old Castle Stories. I really liked how this turned out. There's you kind of have to concentrate a bit because there's quite a mixture of half stitch and full stitch in the background here. But yeah, I like this one. And the only big piece that I finished was Mirabilia's Cathedral Woods Goddess, which she's not going to fit in the camera in her entirety, but I think she's absolutely gorgeous. I really like her, and she's just stitched on a 28 count cream even weave by Zweigart. But she's worth looking at again. I know I've shown her in quite some detail. It's really hard to get focused. I'm filming with my iPad today, so we'll see how that works out. I think the quality will be better, but I don't know. Does anybody else film on their iPad? Because I've bought this stand to be able to do that, but the stand doesn't really go high enough. So I've got kind of reams of paper underneath it, and the fact that it clamps to the iPad obscures the view that I've got. So if anybody has any solutions to that, who films like face down, I'd be really interested in knowing what other people do. Anyway, they were the 3 finishes, so I'll show you what I've been working on most recently. So this is, well, here's what it'll look like when it's finished. It's from a magazine. It's by Anchor, which is why there's the split when I've copied the pages. It's called Country Life, and my WIP Go target was to have the top 3 motifs done, which I literally got this done yesterday. As I say, I've not stitched a whole lot, but you can see I've got the top 3 motifs, and I also started the horse here as well. And I really, really love Anchor Designs. The problem with Anchor Designs, well, not problem, is the backstitch, because it's all fractional backstitch. I don't know why they chart it like that, but all the Anchor patterns that I've done are exactly the same. So anyway, the target's met, and the new target for this year is to get halfway, which, I don't know, was about there, I'd guess, after those motifs. So after the horse, I can't wait to get onto the cockerel because of the colours, and then the little chicken on that side. If I can get that done, that would be great. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but that is the target for that one. Then, what else have I worked on? So this is what I'm currently working on. This is Merejka Daffodils. I didn't mean for that to happen, I just meant it to be a bit higher up. This one, until today, did not get touched this year. It's so pretty. And yeah, I really want this finished. The target for this year is the same as it was last year. It didn't get touched at all, but the target was to finish half of it. So let me see if I can find, that's the pattern. So that's what it is going to look like, and I've done this much, but like I've not finished that. This is the bit I've just been working on here. So let's see. So that is that daffodil, and then I've got that bit. So this bit here is where I've been working on. So this is not quite finished. I've just started that leaf there, but I've got this to come down. But obviously I need to move my Q-snap. I can't put this in a frame because it's too long for all of my frames, except one frame which has already got a project on it. But anyway, yeah, that is what I'm working on at the moment. It's because it is part of WIP Go. So that's the first number that was drawn. This one, right, so this one is so close but not finished. This is called Key to the World. Again, it's from my bobbin, and you can see how really close it is. Yeah. Well, I hit my target for WIP Go. The target was to do half of it, but I carried on, and it's all the stitching's done, the cross stitching. It's just the back stitch. So I've got all across here. There's a lot more back stitching here to do, and basically about half of it I think still needs back stitching. But yeah, I hit the target. I would have liked to have finished it, but I just didn't. So the target for this year is obviously finish it, and that, I mean, I won't say it'll be a quick finish because the back stitching is quite intense. And I think there's fractional back stitching on this as well, if I remember. I can't quite remember on that. Maybe I'm wrong. I think some of it's difficult, like where you're stitching black over black or very dark stitches. Oh yeah, it is fractional. I remember that's why that little cog there is half done. Yeah, there's fractional, but not all of it. It's not as bad as the anchor ones. So target for that one is a finish. Then let's show this one next, because this one, my target was to do this gate. It's Mirabilia's My Lady's Garden, and it's awful to stitch. It's truly awful to stitch. I don't enjoy stitching on it, but I love the results. It's so sparkly, but I just wish I'd picked a petite treasure braid instead. So the target is still to get that gate done. I mean, it's, let's see next to the pattern. So I think, yeah, that's the bottom of the gate there. So there's not much on that side, but there's all of this, which I couldn't do until I got the flowers done. Because you obviously need to stitch the gate over the flowers. And I think the flowers are getting there. I think they're almost done, but they're not. But yeah, if I could get all that gate done, I'd probably have the motivation to do the rest. This is my oldest WIP. I started it in 2017, I think. And she's going to be gorgeous when she's done, but I've got to get there. I really want to get this done, or the gate done this year. So that's that one. Let's see. So the next one that was on my WIP Go is this one. This is Anchor, another Anchor one with that fractional back stitching nightmare. This one I've done quite a lot of work on, but no back stitching. And this is the problem when I join groups and do challenges, because I don't count back stitch, therefore it doesn't get done. So it is gonna be a challenge to go back and do all this. But as you can see, all the stitching over here is done, apart from this little corner. So there's one more little mouse. Let's see if I can put this, yeah. So there's that little mouse that needs doing and just finishing off there. But pretty close, but then all the back stitching. It's going to be fun if you look. Yeah, you can't really see from the, I mean, look, you can see the back stitch on that mouse. So that is going to take a while, I think. But, you know, it's getting there. I mean, at the beginning of the year, I think I had the top border down to there. And a few stitches of the corn, maybe a few stitches. It was barely started. It had about 500 stitches left over from a mania start. So lots of progress, just not the back stitching. Next, where should we go next? Okay, so this one here, no progress whatsoever. Yeah, it just didn't come out. It's really nice. It's called Sweet Home Autumn. So there's a full season of doors. So this obviously is the autumn one. Was this a mania start? Maybe. It might have been a mania start. I'm not sure. I think it was. But it hasn't been touched since. So it didn't come out last year. The target is to finish it. It shouldn't take too long. That's the width of it. And then the top 3 panels. So I'm guessing the door will finish maybe here. And then there's the pumpkins and steps. But it's really nice. It's another one from My Bobbin. So that's that one. Oh, yes, this one. So, again, no progress whatsoever. This is Dimensions Kitty Litter. And my target was literally to put, I don't know, 5 strands of background in or something. The problem with it is, I think this one's only got 4 strands actually, but this is all 5 strands. And it's just not nice to stitch. It's, it hurts my hands. And yeah, I don't enjoy stitching it. So the plan for this is to restart it at some point. I've taken it off my goals for 2023. I'm going to change the fabric to an even weave, I think. I don't know what this is stitched on. If it's 16. I don't know. If it's stitched on 16 count, I'm going to change this to an even weave. If it's not, I'm going to put it on a softer Ada. And what I'm going to have to do, because there's so much of this thread that has been used already, I'm just going to pick some DMC colours that look vaguely the same and use 2 strands for the whole background. So all I'll have to do really is pick 2 that are darker, bit lighter, lighter again. And I think that might even be 1 strand there. Who knows? So it's, yeah, for this year it's UFO'd, and I'm not going to stitch it when it causes my hands physical pain. I'm just not going to do it. So that's that. This one is another Dimensions. This one is nice to stitch on because it's only 2 strands, and I changed this to a nice soft even weave as well. So this is Simple Treasures. That's how it will look. Hasn't been worked on this year. The goal was to finish it because it's, is it halfway? I guess, yeah, I guess there is about halfway. So it's kind of, it is almost halfway, I would say. This section isn't done, although it looks like it's mostly half stitches. But I really like this one. So the goal again is to finish it. this year. So we'll see how it goes. Next is, well, I'll show you the pattern first. This is Royal Holiday. She's scrolled up so you can't see her face, but she's quite well on. If we look, it's really awkward to try and get a decent angle here. But if you look at the pattern, you can see I'm kind of there. So that dark section is the start of this white here. Obviously I've got loads to do coming down here, and on this side, so there's a little holly and berries there, which is there, so I'd say that's about halfway. But I like stitching on this one. She's on a 28 count even weave that I dyed myself, just with some denim RIP dye, quite diluted to get it that lighter colour. Here's another one that didn't get work. Another really nice one that I really like. This is Cute Witch. I always forget whether I bought this on my bobbin, or there was a shop on Etsy called Lola Lotta Shop, but I think it's gone now, that shop. It was a great shop, but I think it's gone. I know I read somewhere that she was hacked, and that was, I don't know, 12 months ago. I've not looked recently, but I did look about maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and the shop wasn't back. So but anyway, if it wasn't from there, it was from my bobbin. But it's really cute. I love everything about this. The little wrap that's carved into the pumpkin, the little pumpkin tag on the collar, you know, the spider webs, and you know, the details on the books over there and things like that. But again, I used it for challenges, so there's no backstitch, and I really need to go back and do that. And yeah, the target is to finish it. I think we're, let's see, so the bottom of that bookshelf is about halfway point. So the stitching, yeah, I think that's about the halfway point. The stitching is about half complete and no backstitch. So I think the first thing I need to do is go back and start doing the backstitch on this one before I stitch any more. But yeah, another one that needs work. And then this one, so this one is coming out. So this one was a Mania start, and most of my Mania starts, apart from the few that I carried on and finished, were just sidelines whilst I concentrated on the ones that had been started prior to Mania. So this is Mason Jar lineup. Let's see if I can find, there we go. So this is what it's going to look like. The goal is to get 3 jars done. So I've put it on my WIP Go board 3 times. So, oh, actually there's a little jar there. Well, 1, 2, 3 would be those 3 then. Yeah, we'll see. It's as I say, it's not been touched since Mania. It's pretty. I'm backstitching as I go. So it should be easier, and it's 2 strands. It's on a even weave. It doesn't come with even weave. It's, you know, what I've replaced it. I've replaced the even weave. Oh, I can't speak. Replaced the Ada with even weave from my own stash because I just prefer working on it. Then this one. This is huge, and it hasn't been worked on, and I'm really disappointed that I didn't do anything on it. So this one is going to look like this. It's 5 foot long, 4 foot long. It's 900 and, it's either 905 stitches or 950 stitches wide, something like that. And I'm only here on the first house, and it's not backstitched. And I have all of that to do all the way across. But how nice is it going to be? I can't wait to get to that little bridge with the horse. I know this isn't the greatest picture. Oh, there we go. There's a a better one. And there's so much detail on it, you know, like the little ducks, or I don't know if the ducks, geese or swans on the lake because they're so small, but, and then there's a little boat there, you know, there's the little people that appear here and there, even like right in the background over there. So yeah, I've got to get cracking with this. I estimated it would take me 5 years. I think I'm on year 3 and I've done 1 house. So the goal is to get 2 houses done, which would take me to there. That's a huge, huge challenge. But if you don't have goals, you're not going to meet them. Then this one. So this is my second oldest WIP. It is Wreath of All Seasons by Dimensions. And I don't know why I don't work on this. Well, I guess I don't really like the fabric. There's a lot of back stitching, but it's so pretty. Whenever I see it, I'm just thinking, why am I not working on it? Now, my goal was to finish half of it. That was the goal for last year, and I'd put that goal in for this year on WIP Go as well, to finish half of it. But I've just watched Christine's video, Calico Whimsy, and she's just picked, I don't know if she's just got it or she's going to start it this year for one of her new starts, and her goal is to finish it. And I was like, well, if Christine's going to do it, maybe it'll give me some motivation to kind of stitch along. So we'll see how that works out. Maybe I'll finish it, but if I get halfway, that was my original goal, but I have changed it to a finish. It should be finished by now. Seriously, this is I think 2017 or 18 as well. So it's been too long. This is pretty though. I do like that. Then, so the only ones left now are the ones that have definitely not been worked on. And they're not even on frames, but these were all Mania starts. So this one here is called December. This is by Merejka again, and this is gorgeous. So let's find a pattern for it. Okay, so here's what it will look like when it's finished. It's gorgeous. It's on so the fabric was kind of this colour anyway, but it was an Ada, so I dyed some to match it. And you can see I've just done that little bit there. That's the handle of the watering can and one of the little berries there. It's not on my list for this year. I would like to stitch on it, but I've got so many things that are much more further on and much older that really need to be finished. So if I finish something, I might bring this one back into some kind of rotation. But for now, it's a WIP, but it's not an active WIP. So that was December. I'm just going to roll it up because I've got stuff all over the place, as you might imagine right now. Okay, so this one, again, hasn't been worked on. This is another fabric that I've dyed. I don't even know how many times I tried to get this colour fabric, which isn't even showing up. I put it next to white. It's a pale green, mint green. I don't know how well that shows up, but anyway, I tried to match the fabric from the original kit. So let's have a look at that. So this is what it will look like. I've obviously just done that bit, but this one is, apart from the back stitching, it's a pretty fast stitch at the top because this is all half stitches. So the whole window frame and the shadowing is half stitches. I think the words are as well. Certainly those were. Oh, maybe they're not actually. No, they're not. I thought they were. But looking at this, they're not. But it's a little start. As I say, it was just a mania start. You know, that's what I got done in a day. So again, it's out of rotation right now, but it is something that is waiting in the wings for when other things are finished. So that's the same with all of these that I'm showing you right now. They're not going to be active WIPs until I've made more progress. This is the tiniest little start. So this is just on a 32 count cream even weave or ivory. And this is a Fleur de Lis, which is put out by Anchor. I think. I don't know whether they're put out by Anchor or they just use Anchor threads. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's, I don't know. Anyway, it matters not. It's called Waiting for Neptune by Linda Ravenscroft. And I really like this. And I mentioned before, you can get a Heaven and Earth Designs one, but I haven't got time in my life for Heaven and Earth Designs, I'm afraid. Yeah, they're just too intense for me, and I've got too many patterns that I want to stitch. So I just can't devote that amount of time to one of those. So this is the version that I've got, and you know, I'm happy with how it's going. It's the tiny amount that it is. But look at those colours. Really pretty. So it will have to wait. I do remember thinking when I was stitching this that even though I stitch, you know, 2 over 2 on 32 count all the time, but I think there's a lot of colour changes and it was getting a little bit tight. But I don't know, maybe it was just because I was stitching on something that was a lot easier before that piece. Who knows? So this one I really enjoyed stitching on as well, but again, it was a mania start, so it has to wait. This is Teresa Wentzler. Is it just called the Dragon? Oh, the Castle, it's called. No backstitching yet, but it's really pretty. Lots of blends. And it's on a 28 count even weave because I didn't want to use Ada. But it's pretty. So that's that one, and I think there's just one more. Let's see, yep, the last one then of my WIPs is this one here. Again, not much on it because it was just 500 stitches for Mania, which was just my own goal. So this is RTO Wolf, which I think is gorgeous. I love all the icy colours in here, the blues and greys, and it's almost got a purpley tone, although that doesn't really translate in reality. But nonetheless, it's really pretty design. And again, it's probably not going to see any work on it until something else is finished. So that is about it. I did stitch and stash last year, but I'm just going to have that there for something to show. I didn't spend anything except for I bought 2 Grime Gods, and that was only because the ones that I've got for my frames are losing their elastic a little bit because I tend to wash them well, I wouldn't say loads, but you know, between projects I'll wash them just to make sure they're not too dirty, because obviously their job is to collect the bran and grease and things from your hands when you're handling it. So yeah, I bought 2 of those. I didn't bring them down to show you, unfortunately. I thought about it and then I was like, I've brought enough things downstairs. This is all got to go back upstairs now. But anyway, that is about it. I'm going to try, obviously, to stitch more. It's that time of year when you set all your goals and then you start off really well and halfway through the year life happens, and I think that's what happens to me, you know, things happen in life that you're not expecting and they need your attention, or you know, you just don't have time or energy. So we'll see. I mean, I have been doing other things, you know, other crafts. I've made a ton of Christmas cards. In fact, I will show you one because it's on my table. I don't send these to anybody, understand? I just make them because I like them. I'm only showing you this because it's got stitching on it. So I don't know whether you can see. These are dies that were made to stitch, and I just used some petite treasure braid in there, and then it's just got some sparklies on it. So I will not bore you with all of my cards, but that was one that I made. I actually display them all in my home because I don't send them to anybody, because I know they'll just end up in the bin. Which, I don't know, is that strange? I don't care if it is. That's what I like to do with them. So anyway, I will wish you adieu and stop rambling. Happy New Year again. Hope everyone's having a great start to the new year. I'm going to spend the rest of my day now, once I've cleaned up, working on Merejka's Daffodils and catching up with Flosstube, which I've not watched for ages. So I'll do that. I think I've done everything else on my list for today. So yeah, a nice afternoon plans for me. Alright then, I will speak to you soon. Bye bye.